Kevo, you're here for a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Championship 2024 tournament. First time I saw you, you took home the championship title in Boston. And then the second time I saw you, you took on the championship in Nintendo Live in Seattle. And then I was cheering you on at the World Championship in Japan. Now you're here. How do you feel about today?
Really good. It's the fourth tournament of overall in my career, so that's really good.
And what's your motivation to race? What motivates you to race?
Just having fun, I guess.
Not to win, just fun?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes,
That's great to hear,
yes.
man. That's awesome. And in general, is there a specific character you like to play as the most?
Pink Yoshi or Black Yoshi.
Pink Yoshi?
Like my hair.
Like your hair? I thought like with your hair, yeah, Pink Yoshi makes the most sense here. And then is there any advice for people that want to get better at this game that you'd like to give?
Just try to play the game with fun. I mean, play a lot the game, play with fun, see other players, and don't get mad if people say that you are not good in this game.
Well, thank you so much, Kevo, for answering our questions, and good luck today. I hope you do a great job in the Mario Kart Deluxe Championship of
Thank you.
2024.
I appreciate it.
Well, good afternoon and get set to start your engines. We are preparing for the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Championship 2024. We're joining you trackside here. Jordan Kent alongside Ashley Esqueda. And back in the mix, no longer Bear, Papa Bear. Congratulations on fatherhood.
Hey, thank you.
You'll have too many items, not enough coins, and your life now runs on 200cc, my friend. So get ready for it. But
I'm used to it. It's all good. High speed. You know, that's all about Mario Kart.
we're ready for a lot of fun here. 12 of the fiercest competitors. This is going to be some unbelievable competition as we get set to crown one winner here. And let's start with this field, Bear. You're very excited because you told both of us prior to the start of this might be the most impressive collection of talent we've ever seen in one of these championships.
Yeah, all 12 of these racers are very well rounded. They've played the game enough. They have an equal set of skill. They understand their item management. It's going to be phenomenal to see them race. It's going to be neck and neck to the very end, and every point is going to matter in this Grand Prix.
And Ashley, you covered a lot of these championships, more so than any other one. You mentioned the fact that the margin for error is razor thin as we get set to get rolling here shortly.
It is razor thin. I mean, we talked a little bit earlier about how Bear has seen tournaments where they've had 3 people tied for first at the end of 12 races. So there's a distinct possibility that things are going to come down to literally the difference between 1 or 2 points.
Could be that close, but let's go ahead and get to our rules before we start to meet some of our competitors here. Nothing too complicated. 12 players, 12 courses, the most points after 12 races wins. Pretty simple. 150cc race, normal items, all vehicles. Smart steering is allowed. A little more on that later and why that might be a strategic advantage for some folks, but it's really fascinating when you look at these courses. That's where things get really exciting. And Bear, as we take a look at our 12 courses, what really stands out about this collection of courses that we're going to run through?
These courses have a wide variety all the way from the beginning of Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U into the Booster Course Pass. And we have a great set of courses that are really front-on heavy, a lot of reset courses in here, things that kind of shake things up. So we're going to see a lot of that come into play when it comes to Big Blue, because that's probably my favorite out of the 12 here, but I love seeing that we have Hyrule Circuit in here, and we also have Animal Crossing, which is going to be a really fun way to introduce a random element of what season we're going to get, because that's also just a big play, because it does cycle between fall, summer, autumn, and winter, so and you can't choose it.
And Ashley, which one of these gets your stamp of approval?
I mean, I'm really excited to see DK Mountain here, mostly because, one, it's toward the end of our Grand Prix, and there is a very specific thing that can happen at the end of this. If you get a lightning after the last item box set, it is truly chaotic. All bets are off, ruin for everyone. Things are going to go crazy. So I'm also just really excited to see maybe some of these players take some risk. They're so good that they have the ability to take risks while they race, and I'm really excited to see that today.
Well, you talked about the competitors. We've hyped them up enough. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the 12 racers that'll be trying to get to the checkered flag first. And let's go ahead and get started with our first of 12. We have Batter Cookie, Bear.
Yeah, Batter Cookie from Sleepy Hollow, Illinois. Actually, I've known Batter Cookie for over 6 years. He started playing Mario Kart Deluxe competitive in Vegas, and really improved significantly. It's going to be a force in this Grand Prix.
Up next, we have Brandon from Maine, Ashley.
Another absolutely amazing racer. Brandon always has a smile on his face, but do not let that fool you. That is actually his game face. That is actually his game face. He came to win. He came to win.
And then our third racer, we have Wyra from Mexico, one of 4 racers from Mexico, Bear.
Yeah, and never underestimate people from Mexico playing this game. They're high caliber racers. Wyra's really out here to make a name for themselves.
After Wyra, we have Lucky O, who Ashley is hoping for a little bit of luck this afternoon.
I mean, I think that's your handle's a good start. So Lucky O's got a little leg up there. I am really looking forward to seeing Lucky O race today. Talked a little bit to him earlier, and he's pumped. He's ready.
Walking in here with the game face on was Adon, and all business as soon as he stepped into the studio.
Oh yeah, he's locked in, ready to go. And really fun fact about Adon, he's the only person out of these 12 players that are using a different style of kart or bike. It's got inside drifting, so his line's gonna be really tight, and it's gonna be really fascinating to see how he does. I think he's probably gonna use like Yoshi bike.
We'll certainly keep an eye on that. Up next, we have N from Quebec, and Ashley, N here trying to make a name.
Make a name. This is, I believe, our only Canadian competitor, and the Great White North, full of excellent Mario Kart players. N is here to win it, and I am very excited to see what he brings to the courses today.
2 thumbs up if you're ready to roll. Then we have Kevo Bear. We just saw you moments ago sitting down with the king. Thoughts on the competition and how he might be in the pole position?
What can I say? He's very humble, and he always says, "I'm here to have fun," but he wants to win. He said, "Oh, it's a good day to win." That's why I asked him how he's feeling today. Good day to win.
You know, that's some life advice we could take just getting out of bed every single morning. Up next, Bagel. No holes in his game whatsoever as he's trying to get one of these top spots, Ashley.
I'm going to need a minute to recover from that. That's no holes in his game. That's right. This is a Bagel that is so exciting to watch. So exciting to see what he brings to the courses today. I am really excited. I think Bagel might be able to shake things up on a couple of these tracks.
Up next from Georgia, we've got Tuck.
I talked to Tuck just moments ago, and I said, "How you doing?" He said he felt nervous, but I said, "Don't feel nervous." He's like, "You know what? No, I'm here to have a good time." I was curious to know if, since he is from the Peach State, if he's going to use Peach. He said he's going to use Daisy.
Close.
It was right there for him. Right there for the picking, Bear, but you got to go with who you feel the most comfortable with. Up next, we have Yoel, 37, also from Mexico, Ashley.
Yoel is an amazing Mario Kart player. We saw Yoel last year at Nintendo Live Seattle. Came in second place, second only to Kevo, so definitely one of the best racers out there. I am really looking forward to seeing Yoel on the courses, and I think we might see an upset from Yoel today. Kevo said him first, Yoel second, but Yoel obviously disagreed.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see. All right, our next racer hoping to do more than just stick around is Gecko.
Yeah, Gecko, this is his second time in one of these championships. Really excited to see how they race. Known him for a number of years. Very solid, and as you can see, he's looking back at his competition here.
And finally, our 12th racer, Fal from Mexico, and we've talked about 1 through 12. You could pick them at this point, Ashley.
Literally every single one of these competitors. Fall is here. A dabble do ya, obviously. This is what the image is for. Fall is a great racer. I think every single one of these competitors are they're so close together in terms of skill level, in terms of the high caliber racing you're going to see today. So it really is anyone's game, including Fall's.
So those are our 12 competitors. We'll get a closer look at them as the action continues. We're getting set for our very first course here. But before we get to that, Bear, you're at a different level when it comes to your Mario Kart 8 Deluxe skill than Ashley and I. And so humor us here. These competitors that are operating at a different speed than most everybody else, what are some of the general guidelines they're trying to follow regardless of the course here?
You know, the 3 main things I think they're going to go for is, 1, really hone in on their racing lines, be as tight as possible to optimal play. 2, they're going to make sure they collect coins. The more coins you have a maximum out of 10 on your bottom left of your screen, the faster your vehicle goes. And 3, really be observant of their item play. So they're going to be probably very offensive, defensive. They're not going to spam their items. They're going to hold it for most optimal play, and we'll see a lot of these players really using their back cameras to just understand what's behind them, so that way they don't waste a mushroom or a protection.
And real quick, Ashley, luck also just plays a huge role in some of this, especially if you're in one of those positions trying to farm items.
Yeah, it's it also the courses also. I mean, it's like the way things are set up a lot of times in these courses are designed to, you know, cause a little bit of chaos, right? So it doesn't matter if you're the best player in the world. Once again, like we mentioned, DK Mountain, if that lightning shows up after the last item box set, like it's just very chaotic and it can be anybody's race at that point. So I'm really excited to see how the courses come into play as we watch these racers really get out there and do their best.
As we look at all 12 of our racers, you see that comfortable pre-race swivel in the chair as they are relaxed, getting all their settings to their optimal point. And we have our first course, Toad Harbor. How fitting as far as where we're at right now, Bear.
Oh, Toad Harbor is great. It's actually based loosely on San Francisco, as you can see with the trolley. This is a nice, really, I like to consider this as a front-run heavy course, so that means you want to be front of the pack as much as possible. There's a trolley that kind of goes through in the middle of the whole course. It can be a hazard, but also you can use it if you trick on top of it for really massive boosts. We'll probably see that from a number of our racers here. But it's going to be a really fun course to start on. It used to be the longest course in the game before we had a DLC in Mario Kart 8, and then obviously with the Boost Course Pass DLC.
Well, let's get ready to roll. Our first of 12 courses to decide a champion here. It's the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Championship 2024. Let's go. And there you see the 12 shot. There's so much going on. It's hard to focus on just one particular person. But you do see Batter Cookie racing out to the early lead, Ashley.
Yeah, Batter Cookie, everybody right out of the gate, you can see they're all hopping and doing their mini turbos. They're getting in there, they're getting their boosts, trying to get out in front of the pack. That's something that you probably will see at this level of racing. This is pretty constant hopping and super mini turbos.
Yoel in 4th, Gecko in 7th, but Batter Cookie still in 1st. Here comes the trolley opportunity for some additional speed, Bear.
And gets rid of all their items just because they really want to create a distance here, especially as much as they can. And there, gets the trolley hop. Really excellent play. The massive amount of boost there. And they have 6 coins in hand, so they're trying to run as much as they can here.
Batter Cookie in the lead after the first lap on this front runner course. Cuts through the grass, still maintaining the lead. Leaping over the bridge, but
no.
Bear misses the speed platform.
Tough because they were going for hit someone, but they kind of lost track of what's in front of them sometimes.
And so Batter Cookie has to fall back all the way to 4th, which changes everything. Now Wyra, Ashley, in the lead, has a mushroom. No defensive item, though.
No defensive item, which could come, but a mushroom can be a defensive item in the event of a blue shell, which could be happening any second. So we'll have to keep an eye on whether or not one of those pops in an item box.
Wyra, mushroom, and a coin, unable to get off the top of the trolley there in hot pursuit. Lucky O on the bottom right, as you see, as we get set for the final lap. Brandon trying to battle, moving up into 3rd place. Batter Cookie with the bullet bill, though, Bear.
This is everything here. So Brandon's holding the start in 2nd place, knowing that someone's going to farm a powerful item here. And Batter Cookie, everybody else going up here. This in 2nd with a star. Oh, it's just be really tense here.
And keep an eye on that. Wyra still in 1st, red shell and a star. Has to eat the red shell and the blooper. Has the coin, falls behind. Brandon with a red shell in protection as we get set for the last little bit of this course, trying to make their way past the trolley, still in the lead. No item, hopefully gets a coin and a green shell. Bear going down the final turn here. No trolley to trick off.
No trolley to trick, but he's able to hold us here. Let's see if he takes a tight turn. Oh, the shot coming play here. And I think he's going to still hold 1st. And he does. Brandon last 1st there. Lucky O in 2nd and Tuck in 3rd. Wow, fantastic play there. Really late from the lightning and late in the blue, because these players are playing very tight and they don't want to just sabotage themselves. It's hard with Toad Harbor, given how close the pack is. People weren't able to farm like the super powerful items off the whip.
Brandon was just seconds away from having to eat that blue shell, and who knows what would have happened. But Ashley, it was Batter Cookie in the lead, just simply got off the line and falls into the water.
Well, that's what that's what I say when I really love that these players, even at the highest level, are willing to take some risks. And that was a risk that didn't quite pay off, but I have a feeling Batter Cookie is going to take some other risks that will pay off, because that is how he plays.
Well, had to bake in the middle of the pack for a minute after that, after falling into the water. Brandon does get the victory, and so you take advantage of those opportunities. But we've talked about it, Bear. The slightest misstep is the difference. 3, 4, 5, 6 points potentially.
You can't make mistakes like that. But it's race 1 out of 12, so you got 11 more to go. You still got points to accumulate here, and you shake it off. Okay, all right. If I was in that position, I would say, all right. If I fell off, that's okay. Time for me to take the safer route next time, not for the super strong time trial fast route, because ultimately, if you're falling off, losing the coins and seconds is worse than everything else.
Especially on the final lap. So Brandon gets 15 points, Lucky 12, Tuck 10. Kevo, we didn't say his name too much. There's Kevo in 5th place, just sneaking behind Bagel. Impressive 4th place finish. But Batter Cookie, who had the lead on the final lap, has to settle for just 3 points and 10th place. And that's all the difference in the world, Ashley.
I mean, it's really rough when you're on that last lap and you make such a critical error like that. It's like, it is very hard to recover, especially when you're racing against players like this.
First course in the books. Our next course coming up will be Animal Crossing. And Bear, you love this one. There's a little bit of RNG that might come into play, though.
Yeah, I mean, I love this one mostly because it's very dynamic. It's a great course to reset, shake things up. So if you're in the bottom of the pack, actually, if you place the bottom 4 here, you're like, all right, this is great. I can actually shake things up as we get into here. And the seasons are just you don't know what's gonna happen here, because right now the game itself, if you time trial Animal Crossing, you only have the option of summer. So if a summer comes up, most of these people are gonna play very normal Animal Crossing. I mean, any other seasons, it can shake things up.
That's Bear with our Action 5 News weather report as we get set for Animal Crossing. Let's see what the forecast calls here, because what do we have here, Bear? And tell us some of the unique things.
Okay, you can immediately see it's spring because of the pink.
Beautiful cherry blossom.
Cherry blossom trees, everything else is nice. The one fun fact about spring is the only time that fruit doesn't fall from the trees during lightning or if you hit the trees itself.
And Ashley, of course, at the end of each lap, there's a huge shortcut opportunity here as we see Brandon already in 1st place.
Huge shortcut opportunity. You're going to see a lot of these racers holding onto their mushrooms for as long as humanly possible to use them at those opportune moments for those shortcuts. It is going to be very interesting to see what happens. I would say probably middle to the end of lap 2.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, most of these players are just going to play what they can possibly do. At this point, the bottom of the pack is trying to farm really powerful items to really punish 1st place, because you know who is the lobby leader at the time, because it is the red Yoshi. So we'll see how this plays out as we get into the 2nd lap here. Typically, this is when people will start pulling the blue shell or lightning.
N captures the lead in 1st, red shell in tow as we see racers 1 through 4. Brandon in 2nd, Batter Cookie in 3rd. Adon in 4th with the mushroom will have an opportunity to use that shortcut, as will Batter Cookie. Let's see if they can capitalize on it as they get over the booster ramp and can't cut through. Batter Cookie going to be patient with that mushroom, and here we go. Heading into the final lap, it is Brandon in 1st once again, Ashley.
Yeah, you can see, you've probably noticed that they're using those mushrooms right there at that really big shortcut at the end. Unfortunately, the only thing that gets through Mr. Rossetti is a star, not a mushroom, so they got to be really careful there.
Yeah, you got to be careful later, and especially this last lap, getting down into the last leg after glider, you're going to have a lot of high chance of a blue shell or someone pulling out lightning here. Oh, and gets backed by triple greens from Batter Cookie. Very aggressive by Batter Cookie here. He has a mushroom in play. He may be able to steal first.
Batter Cookie trying to cut the corner. Brandon avoids the boomerang. Eats it though. Brandon, however, finishes after taking the hit from the boomerang. Back-to-back victories for Brandon. And how about Batter Cookie going all the way up to 2nd place? But the separation, we'll get to the leaderboard here in just a moment, but Brandon, that was a huge victory, Ashley, through a lot of adversity right at the checkered flag.
It almost, it seemed like the boomerang just sort of flicked him right over the finish line. I mean, that was an amazing, amazing throw by Cookie. I can't believe how precise, I can believe how precise that was because they're so good at this. But yeah, that was an amazing throw and just a hair too late.
Yeah, it's tough because a lot of these players they really want to race well, and they're racing for basically their whole lives here in this championship. But right now, when it comes down to the 3rd race here, you have Brandon back-to-back 1st places. You know who the lobby leader is. They have a crown. In free-for-all collectively, you essentially want to target whoever has the crown, and you also want to make sure if you are in the back, you are pulling a blue shell. The people are not pulling blue shells early enough, and that's just because the pack is so tight that sometimes they just won't be able to pull it, and given that how far distance 1st is from everybody else.
It's a really good point. We've only seen one blue shell. That was at the end of Toad Harbor. I feel like in a single-player run, I'm seeing more in one lap than what we've seen so far in 2 courses. But for Brandon, 2 huge victories. And when you look at how difficult this championship is going to be, Ashley, that's a 12-point separation after just 2 races.
Yeah, it's a huge gap to overcome. And, that difference between first place and fourth place, fifth place, I mean, it's 5 points. So when you start really kind of like getting through each of these courses, it makes a huge difference.
Brandon in first with 30 points. Luckyo 18 in second. There's Kevo in third. Didn't say Kevo's name once that entire race, but just lurking there in the shadows.
Yes.
But Batter Cookie, the big mover, going all the way from 10th place and a tie for fourth with Gecko with 15 points. 10 courses left, still a lot of action that can happen. And to your point, Bear, we really haven't seen a lot of those powerful items that can disrupt the leader.
Yeah, and it's still 2 races and still 10 more to go. But as we get into Super Nintendo's Bowser Castle 3, probably the best Bowser Castle in this game. I love this.
We'll take your word for it. Absolutely.
He owns multiple homes. He has Bowser owns multiple castles.
Okay, there's only 2 Bowser Castle in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but I love this one specifically because it really capitalizes on Mario Kart 8's mechanics. It has a fun anti-gravity area. The visuals are perfect. It really favors front-run heavy dynamic, so we'll see how Brandon is able to take a big lead. But if I was in second or third, I would hit out Brandon and make sure he's in the back as much as possible. You just need to take him out at this point if you even are in that cusp, because that difference between 30 points and 18 for second is huge.
And especially if Brandon is able to get one more victory, or we're seeing some shakeups like with Batter Cookie going all the way to second place, could create some more distance. So Brandon versus the pack has been established already. Will the pack be able to pull closer to Brandon, or will he create some more distance between himself and the other competitors? It is SNES Bowser Castle 3. A little remodel since 1991, but it's looking sharp, Ashley, as all of our racers are off through the first turn.
Same, to be honest.
Yeah.
No, this is, they're all looking really good. I think it's really great. You can see Bagel out there in second. Kevo right there in third. Really interesting. You're going to, like, I feel like Kevo is one of those players who, like, really kind of sneaks up behind people in the middle of a tournament or a Grand Prix. So I think we might start seeing Kevo sort of turn up the heat a little bit at Bowser's Castle.
Bagel in second, but what we saw, no powerful items yet from those racers in 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. And so we get set for the second lap. Luckyo in first at the moment. Brandon behind in that top 5 position. But if you're Bagel, how do you try to take over Luckyo in this situation?
Well, at this point, Bagel is smart by knowing that Luckyo has a mushroom in play. So if a blue shell does come out, they are going to dodge. So they're holding their red shell and trying to take out Brandon, which they were doing. They were backing all their items to make sure they actually take him out, which actually he's been punished pretty hard here. So we'll see how this last leg goes. Luckyo's mushroom got stolen by a Boo, which is detrimental to them. But we'll see how this goes as they going into the final lap here, getting this item box. They'll have a defensive item. Blue shell is out on the minimap already, and then they have a couple of options to see what they end up doing here. They just get hit, which is not that bad.
Luckyo has to take the blue shell. Bagel's in the lead. Brandon still in the back with all the ruckus happening back there. We'll see if he's able to separate. But now we're getting towards the final half of the final lap. It's Bagel still in that front position. Luckyo trying to chase down. Yoel hits a wall. Luckyo moves up to third. Star coming in hot. Bagel on one of the final turns, just trying to coast through the home stretch and take that victory. It's going to go Bagel, Yoel, and Luckyo for our top 3, Ashley. And again, no real disruptions the final leg of the final lap.
Yeah, I think for those of you at home who are not at this level of play, if you're not used to this, one of the things that Bear talks about is, you know, there's a point where you're far enough back from the pack that these powerful items start showing up, and these players are so good that they are all staying so tightly close together that the difference or the distance between last place and first place is so tight that you're just not seeing these items procking as much as you would in a race that me and Jordan would be running, for example.
Yes.
Yeah, the item distribution for this game is based on how far first is versus the bottom 4. So if the pack is very tight, they're going to just pull mushrooms. And a lot of times what happens is they'll pull mushrooms, and then fourth and fifth will pull triple greens, and then those people just run into them, which happens to me a lot.
All the time. And it's really hard in that middle of the pack there when you're between, like, you know, 4th and 8th. It's because you're not getting the most powerful items, and then on top of that, you're also having to deal with being so close to your competitors that, you know, anything like a triple shell is a real problem.
Brandon still maintains his lead, picks up 7 points, but now that lead has shrunk as Luckyo takes the victory, moves up to second. Bagel in third, Kevo in fourth, Yoel moving up to 5th place, an impressive second place finish on that last race. And so this has really been the theme, Ashley. The competition is so tight that you're not getting those items that might really help vault you to the front. And if you're trying to get to the front with the mushroom, there's a lot of traffic to negotiate. You being a resident of Southern California, you're familiar with that.
Very familiar. I see triple green shells all the time on the 10 freeway in Los Angeles. It's terrible. I absolutely hate it. No, but so Bear, I'm actually really curious about this because I do not play at this level. A lot of these tracks tend to be for this Grand Prix tend to be front runner tracks, or we don't see a lot of bagging tracks here.
Yeah, it's because they changed the mechanic in this game that doesn't favor it as much as in the past. So a lot of these players are just playing optimally, and you just have to be the better racer when it comes down to it. And next up here we have Tour Los Angeles Laps, which in my opinion it's a pretty mixed course. You can race it as however you want. It is very wide, so you can get away with not getting hit so much. You could take different paths. There are ample amount of times where you can pick up item boxes, but coins are scarce, just like how it is. Whenever I go to LA, I feel like my coin doesn't go so far.
It's true. It's so true.
My coin really doesn't go as far as whenever I visit Los Angeles, and it's the same thing goes with
You
this
got
game.
a lot of coin management. A lot of coin management.
Coin
in Los
management is the
Angeles.
most awful thing.
Number one.
And as we watch this, we need to make sure that we keep an eye on the coin management for folks, because the more they have, when they're at max out 10, they're just going to go top speed.
And that makes a huge difference. Even the difference between 9 coins and 10 coins.
Here we go, our fourth course, Tour Los Angeles Laps, as we begin on the boardwalk, and it's going to be congested as we make our way through the first turn. Bagel still in the lead. Luckyo trying to threaten, has that red shell, and just a coin for Bagel. Luckyo being patient here, Bear, to necessarily throw that out.
Yeah, most of when you're playing with smart players, they're not the first item box. They are not going to spam. They're going to hold as much as they can for the defense. And Gecko, as you see, Gecko holding mushroom was able to take the cut. Now they have triple greens. They're going to run with this at this point.
Bagel in third as we go to the one shot. Red shell coming. The horn's not going to help you out in that situation, unfortunately. Gets a mushroom for recovery. But Ashley, you want to be wise with that. There's several opportunities on this course to get a shortcut with that shroom as we get to the second part.
Yeah, mushroom management is a really interesting part of Mario Kart at this level of play. It is a big part of, dodging. You can dodge a blue shell with a mushroom, which is pretty wild. And also, if you're good enough and your timing is good enough. And then also, obviously, the shortcuts, which, could I just get some of those for my commute? At home, I just need some, I need some speed. I gotta go faster and take some shortcuts.
Gecko in first place on the bottom right of your screen. Adon not too far away as well, as we are getting closer to the third and final section of Los Angeles Laps as they make their way. And now Gecko in first has to deal with that blooper. What are you trying to do down the home stretch here, Bear?
When you're over 30 and the blooper comes out, you just pray. But right now, blue shell's out. So we'll see how Gecko reacts to this. He's going to go to the top half of the glider. Hopefully he'll be able to change something. Nope, he's going to get hit here. And you have Adon with double reds. Very powerful as they get into the last stretch here.
Adon gets the gift of the blue shell to move forward to first, has to deal with the blooper, able to see through the mucked up windshield. Red shell coming, has one for defense, another one in tow. Adon trying to claim the checkered flag. Adon making their way, thought about maybe releasing that to make someone's day even rougher here, Bear.
They did not do the classic LA traffic thing I've seen, which it just makes someone's day horrible.
Yeah.
But good for them, because that last leg going down to that boardwalk is so scary, because people can throw their items back, ruin your day. Adon was good for them for holding on to it. Gecko really, through both of their reds, really wanted that second place. I saw it as whoever was in third overtaken with the mushroom. That's very risky. As you were talking before, Ashley, about taking a risk. Letting go of your defense in the final stretch can make a difference.
Make or break you.
Yeah, because you could finish third or you can finish ninth. If you have no defense, you get hit, it's over.
It's over, yeah.
So Adon, our winner for Los Angeles Laps, and that was a situation, Ashley, where we did have the blue shell come out late, and it changed the lead as we were going down the home stretch. We hadn't seen that in the previous 3 courses.
Yeah, we finally saw it. We saw a bullet bill. We saw a few different, rarer items. We have not. I don't know. Do you think we'll ever see a Crazy 8? I don't know if we will.
They happen in the back. They happen in the back. We just don't
Sometimes.
see them as much. Crazy 8s are relatively rare if the pack is pretty tight.
Yeah.
But most of these players will span their Crazy 8s.
I really love the shortcuts on that map. or on that course. It's the shortcuts are really fun.
So now the lead for Brandon is just 7 as Lucky O moves up to second place, 44 to 37. Then we have a tie for third with Adon and Bagel at 31 apiece, Kevo at 30, as we have made it through the first third of our 12 courses. So now that brings up our 5th course, which is going to be Grumble Volcano from the Wii era. And you just have this big cheesy grin on your face, Bear.
I love Grumble
Everything's
Volcano.
lining up on this course for you.
Grumble Volcano is my go-to for anything. I just love this course.
Great
the music
course.
is amazing. It's probably one of the best Wii tracks out there. I love that it just crumbles in each laps, and it has that massive shortcut at the end that really opens up only for the final lap. So if you have a mushroom, oh, that's your first to take if you can overtake first place there, because that last leg, it's not difficult to execute in this level of play, but yeah, it's going to be really fun. It's going to be hectic. There's a lot of hazards on the road. I always find this course to be a very pleasant experience.
And you talk about the hazards, Ashley. We've already seen some racers fall into the water, fall into the lava. Those hazards do come into play despite the high skill level that we're seeing from the racers.
Yeah, they do come into play, especially in Grumble Volcano, which, like Bear was saying, this track literally is crumbling into the lava every single lap more and more. So it does make a difference. It really comes down to, you know, a lot of these players, they've done time trials for this over and over and over again to really perfect exactly where they should be at exactly the right time, where they need to drift, when they need to start. I mean, it's just, it really is a precision racetrack, and so it's going to be really exciting to watch them.
Yeah, but going into Grumble Volcano, sometimes hazards can be your benefit. So with Grumble Volcano, they do have these giant rocks that create these embers. If you hit it before a red shell hits you, you have less of a momentum loss than a red shell hitting you. So sometimes you can use it for your advantage.
We'll see if they can take advantage of those next level strats as we begin our 5th race, Grumble Volcano. Everybody's chasing Brandon that has that 7-point lead overall, but Brandon, after winning the first 2 races, hasn't even cracked the top 3 in the last couple, so the pack is certainly catching up to him. Right now, Kevo in second place. Kevo's been a little silent the last couple of races, but we expect him to lurk. And now we look at the middle of the pack again. Ashley, no crazy powerful items for those racers in 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Yeah, it is still really tight. You can see on the mini-map, I mean, it's very, very tight right now. There might be a little bit more separation coming into the second lap here, and I think we're going to start seeing maybe some more powerful items. You can also, yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how the second lap changes that with the item boxes.
Kevo in the lead, lets go of the red shell to create a little bit of a hazard behind him, and now you've got the banana ready to roll, and really, Bear, Kevo just needs to drive the line and play great defense.
Yeah, what Kevo's actually fishing for is a bomb. He loves the bomb. He knows they can destroy second place. So he's been backing as much as he can, knowing that most of these players behind him have the similar lines than him. So they're probably going to fall into a banana if they have that similar time trial line.
And if you look at the mini-map, Kevo with a sizable lead over Bagel. Bagel trying to cut the corner with the shortcut. Red shell coming in. Kevo is going to have to defend against that potentially. Wyra moves up into second, but as we go into the 3rd and final lap, Ashley, it is all Kevo at this moment.
It is all Kevo all the time, and like Bear said, he's going to be looking for a bomb. He really wants, there's a lot of tight corridors, especially in this last lap.
And here the blue shell's out in mini-map right now, so Kevo has to roll the dice here. He ended up getting him a bomb, but nothing to defend himself from the blue, so the recovery here is important, just getting the coins. He actually takes out second, but he leaves himself open, so let's see if anybody else has a red shell right behind him.
Still a little bit of time until he can get an item box. Kevo is exposed for the moment right now. Wyra just a green shell, will have to try and snipe it. Wyra in second, trying to sneak up to Kevo. Kevo in the lead, trying to get their first victory. Kevo with just a coin
just
here,
a
Bear.
single
Can he
coin.
hang on?
No, I don't think so, because Battle Creek had a mushroom going in. Oh, he ended up getting first place. That's amazing. Kevo took the most optimal lines and really didn't get the double box after going in. Had nothing. And no one had a red shell.
That last bit, I can't believe that last leg of the course, he had absolutely nothing. It was just a single coin.
And now things get interesting. After 5 races, we can't wait to show you the leaderboard, but Kevo, or should I say Dr. Kevo, surgical that race. Just a clean operation.
He is locked in.
Locked in.
He's locked in.
Look
He's
at that.
It's like he gets that bomb, and all of a sudden, it's like
He knew.
Oh, it's just right there.
That choke point is terrifying.
it's horrible.
I
It makes me
detest
feel
being in
sick.
second place always because I know someone's going to throw something
Someone's
behind
gonna do it,
And,
yep.
and then it's over because most of the players in second place are so scared of getting hit that they are dragging their shell So what happens is the bomb hits them and then also takes out whatever they were dragging. And even if they have that instance of, let me throw my red, oh no, and it explodes. So it is critical that Kevo maintains this lead going into our next race here, which is going to be very interesting how people are going to play Yoshi Island, given that it is a good reset course and it is a little random at times. So we'll see how this shapes up.
Let's go ahead and check out the leaderboard after 5 races. Brandon tied with Kevo. So that 12-point lead that Brandon had 30 points after the first 2 races, has now just mustered 15 total points over the last 3 races. We told you, these 12 racers, you won't find a more competitive field anywhere, as we still have more than half of our courses ready to go. And Ashley, Kevo, you can never count him out. We didn't call his name much until Grumble Volcano, but there is Kevo tied for the lead.
There he is. I mean, he is really good at this. He is a player that really heats up in the middle of a Grand Prix. We've seen this like many times. Like, he comes out and he kind of just gets his feel for the competition. He really kind of figures out kind of the lay of the land in terms of like each player's strategies and everything and how they're feeling that day. Like, you can almost get a sense that he knows like, oh, this player's having a really good day today. Like this, you know, he gets that sense after a few races, and then all of a sudden, next course, first place. So he's just so good at that.
So Yoshi's Island, and obviously the cloud question mark at the end, and being able to time that seems to be huge as far as giving yourself the best opportunity, Bear.
Yeah, Yoshi Island in general is going to be critical for the final stretch, because if you do not get that cloud question mark and open up that path at the end, you're basically going to lose first place out there. Yeah. And you can time it every time once you time trial it, but it's very difficult because the hitbox for it is not as large as you've seen. And especially if all these players are using medium build characters, you're just going to have to really, really go for that to open it up. And I went from first place and not hitting that question mark to like 5th, just because second hits it and then they end up taking the faster
and then everybody
path.
else goes with second place. So it's really tough to recover if you miss that.
It feels like, Ashley, it's one of those courses where if you are in the lead and you're trying to run this, you have got to be very, very precise, because if you miss that, to Bear's point, all of a sudden the rest of the pack has 11 chances to get it and catch up to you.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And this is a track where, I mean, in my opinion, and I like, Bear, please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but like in this track for me, it's always about getting in first, staying in first, and at this level of play, like missing that question mark, the cloud question mark, is not an option. Like, it's just you get in first, you stay in first, and you have to race. You kind of have to race perfectly. You can't take risks on this one.
Yeah, well, you can. My favorite thing is.
But would you? Would you want to?
Bear loves risks.
I play a little crazy.
Has a big bowl of risks to start his day.
I play a little crazy.
Laughs in the face of danger, my friend.
That's what I like about you. That's what I like about you. You make it exciting.
Yoshi's Island, and they're off to the races already. Wyra cuts the corner, has first place, getting set to plunge into the water here in just a moment. Kevo in the back at 12th, though, right now, Bear. Interesting strategy from our leader.
He's probably understanding this is going to be such a random course, so he's going to purposely bag so he can farm items, as the back of the pack looks like 3 characters or players are doing that right now. So they're going to try to make their way back up, probably in lap 2, and then just kind of take it over from there.
Wyra able to get the cloud question mark. Luckyo in second place. So Wyra doing what they need to do in first to maintain that lead. 10 coins as well, too. So fully loaded wallet as we get set for the second lap. Wyra, though, with just a coin, slows down. Yeah. Lets the blue go ahead and take out some other poor soul, Ashley.
I mean, that's a great strategy. If you're feeling pretty good about your racing and you see that blue shell incoming, if you can do it with enough time, like, you got to make sure that you actually break fast enough.
Yeah, but Gecko actually ended up dodging the blue shell with the mushroom, and he had 2 mushrooms in hand, so he was able to maintain his first place lead here.
Gecko in the lead. Now, here's what Gecko needs to do. Blooper trying to block the screen. Who cares about a little bit of ink? I can still get that question mark cloud, and Gecko cruising to first place as we get set for the final lap there.
Yeah, this is going to be make or break now. For the final lap at this point, it's given how where Kevo was and everybody else in the back of the pack, I foresee a lightning bolt happening here and shock activated.
Kevo took a hit. Kevo now, as we try to sort out the Yoshis in the mini-map, sitting in about 4th or 5th place at this moment. Gecko still a huge lead, trying to just close this out here. But Ashley, all of the attention is focused in the middle, where Kevo's starting to fall back even more.
This is going to be really, I mean, Gecko's pretty far out there. I think right now this race is really just for second and beyond. So I think that this is where you're going to start seeing, like, a lot of these players are going to start maybe a little risk, right? Is this where you see a little risk?
For the final stretch, yeah, but Gecko was able to finish first there solidly.
Such a solid finish.
No one pulled Lightning, which is super surprising. Nice for them, seeing them rock Mario, which is a little heavier build. And I love the victory music here.
Wow.
Kevo having to take 9th place. And look at this leaderboard here in just a second, as we love it. Towards the second half of races coming here, a crowded leaderboard. And it just goes to show you, Bear, no matter how good you are, if you get stuck in all of that craziness from 4th through 8th, there's a lot of things out of your control all of a sudden.
Yeah, so what happened there was first place slowed down for the blue. Not using their back camera, seeing that the other person had mushroom in hand. Ultimately, sometimes just taking the blue is your better bet, and or running into the still things, because you just don't want to give someone a free dodge and make a big breakaway, which happened to Gecko there. They're able to run with it, and no one else was able to pull Lightning and activate the shock. So you just had basically a free run for them, and he was able to hit every single question mark box in opening up that path. And even with the blooper ink out, I was looking at the screen. I was like, oh, I cannot get this. I had no idea where the question mark was. I was squinting. I was like, is that? Oh, he got it. Okay, all right. I had to take some notes there. I was like, all right, that's where it is.
Yeah, very technical race. And Ashley, nothing feels better than when you know you have a game plan, you execute it. And a lot of times, if you are in the lead, you're going to let 2 through 8 just take themselves out of the race as long as you run a clean race.
Yeah, you're far enough ahead. You don't even worry about that. I mean, to Bear's point, it's just Gecko must have had a big smile on his face as soon as he saw that slowdown. He was like, all right, I feel pretty good about this. Like, that's you got to feel good about that. You're walking into it with 2 mushrooms. Like, that's such a huge advantage.
Yeah, 2 mushrooms, and he's able to pull 2 bananas after
he just
that.
Went, bye!
So he had
like,
all his defense in the world. Nothing to really challenge him. Even if the person behind him had 2 reds, it still would have been fine.
It wouldn't matter. Yeah.
Picks all the produce and gets first place. You love to see it. Let's check out the leaderboard here. Luckyo in first at 52, but how about this? 3 other racers within 4 points of the leader, Bagel at 45, but it was Kevo that had to take that 9th place finish, and now Kevo and Brandon, who were tied for the lead going into that race, 2nd and 4th, respectively. And all of a sudden, things start to get very interesting, Bear, as we get set for 3DS DK Jungle.
3DS DK Jungle, a phenomenal front runner track. I love the way that this race it just plans out nicely. The music is amazing. It's so visually spectacular. The shortcuts are most of them you can do without mushrooms, so it ends up being a very nice kind of clean race. So we'll see a big breakaway for sure from a lot of these racers here as they get started. And then one of the key things in DK Jungle, we'll see this, there is a technique called super bouncing, which you hold your mini turbo and you release it as you're going into the mushroom in the beginning. We'll see it with these players that all do it, but you get a very large boost after it. So it's right in the big section of the little mushroom bounce thing.
The giant bouncing mushrooms.
Yep, the giant bouncing mushroom. So we'll see that here. That is critical. If you miss that, you are falling behind.
And what I love about this course, Ashley, is the very narrow shortcut at the end, right before the finish line. You can take that sharp left-hand turn. Could be a lot of things that might happen.
Sharp left to a rickety bridge.
Let's see. 4 racers within 4 points of the lead. It is course number 7 of 12 as we get ready for the second half of this championship. You see everybody getting off to a clean start, racing out towards the lead as Wyra in second. And moves up to the first spot, though, with Bagel not too far behind. Here's Kevo in 10th, though, Bear.
You know, Kevo is trying to do their best to maintain a lead, but also kind of collect their coins, go from there. You see Gecko falling. That was rough for them. But Tuck is up front. We haven't seen Tuck in a hot minute, so it's nice to see them come up here.
Tuck in 3rd, working their way around. Here comes a glider section as well, too. And Tuck hitting the ground in third place and going to cut it tight. Everybody's taking this.
You
It could
got
get
to.
a little busy. A couple of people took a boomerang there, but so far it's Bagel in second and is in the lead, though, trying to hang on to this, Ashley.
That shortcut is so much fun to watch at this level because it is such a narrow pathway. Everyone has to take it in order to stay competitive, and it can be really dangerous.
Oh my God,
Bagel.
I knew that was happening. The end is so aggressive, and that back red you do not expect. I would have been so sad. But Bagel has a boo in fourth place, which is insane. Activates their boo. Someone's gonna bullet Bill. Well, this is gonna be really interesting here.
And still in first place, trying to get double items here, a coin and a banana peel. Takes the lightning in the glider section.
And
couldn't ask for a better opportunity.
Oh, Bagel was able to dodge lightning with the boot because their frames just around there. Has triple mushrooms in second place. This is going to be their race to win at this point.
Bagel overtakes N for first place as we get set for the final lap, and Ashley, by narrowest of margins, able to avoid that lightning and sets themselves up very well. And in second, though, with that red shell.
They all have practiced the timing on so many of these advanced moves, especially the defensive moves, that it is really impressive to watch them in action.
Now N has a bomb here, Bear. What do you do in second place with that bomb? How do you try to get to first?
Hold and protect themselves like they did. At this point, you got to be okay with second place unless you pull double reds, which now N only has a banana and a coin, which is basically a first place pull. So they're just going to hold on to here. Maybe hopefully pray they get second place and hold on to it, in which they did. And Bagel first. This is huge.
Bagel
Wow.
and Kevo and Batter Cookie. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is going to give Bagel some huge points. And now
Oh,
Bagel
my.
vaults to the lead, and we've got a tie at second place.
Wow.
Yes, it is going according to script from our perspective. Very competitive.
Smart.
But I think you made a really good point, Bear. You're in second place. I think a lot of people, when they get that bomb, if you're N, you want to be greedy. How do I get first place? But playing defensively is the way to go because you've got to think about the long game.
Yeah, you have to. You know someone's going to throw the red shell eventually. But bombs are great. It'll take out the behind your pack, and then you can also hold it on till you get to the next item box set so you can chain properly. But Bagel played that perfectly because Bagel was able to look at the mini-map, use their boo at the right time. They held their boo until they're in fourth, saw that there was a multiple amount of bullet bills, and they in their heads thought, okay, I'll activate this boo. Luckily, the time frame, someone's probably not going to pay attention to the mini-map and use the lightning and give them a free win at that point. Because once they were able to steal triple mushrooms from that boo, they were gone. They knew that if second did not pull red shells, they could win this easily, and they held on to that last triple mushroom.
Well, after Bagel toasts everybody in that race, moves all the way up to first place, just 1 point ahead, though, of the tie between Kevo and Lucky O. And then we start to see a tiny bit of separation. Gecko 5 points behind those second place racers at 54, Brandon at 52. And now things are going to get even more intense as we get set for Tour Madrid Drive, and Ashley, one of the more beautiful, aesthetically pleasing courses as well.
I'd say one of the prettiest tour tracks, in my opinion. I think it's really beautiful. I absolutely love the layout of this course. It's just a really fun course to race.
Yeah, you go through the museum, you see some art, you go through the
It's a very cultured,
soccer
it's a
football
very
stadium.
cultured course experience.
I personally think this track is very fun though to drive on, but not intended. Sorry, but it is glorious. There is a huge shortcut right actually in the image still that we see after the fountains. If you veer yourself to the left and you have a mushroom, you should be able to cut through a lot, which is critical when it comes down to the remaining last leg. But we have 5 races left. It can be anybody's
Anything can happen.
tournament at this point, because if you just have two or three good races, you can make yourself up there in the top 3. So I wouldn't count anybody out here. Anybody in the top 6 or 8 right now can still win this.
Yeah.
And one thing we haven't talked too much about, vehicle loadouts and the role that plays. Not too long ago, everybody was Waluigi and the Wiggler for everybody. But we're seeing a little bit more variance here.
Yeah, now that the game was updated a couple times, we have a lot more medium weight classes. That's why we see a ton of Yoshis, Birdos, Peaches, Daisies. They're all the same kind of weight class. And Tuniki Mario and Male Villager is similar to that. They just have like a little bit different stat boost. But most of these players pick them because they have the highest amount of mini turbo and speed in conjunction. And which we also see a lot of the Teddy Buggies, Bitty Buggies, and Mr. Scooties on screen, which only one person using an inside, actually 2 people now, which is N and 8 on. They're both using the Yoshi bike.
Off we go for Madrid Drive, and as we saw at the leaderboard, there are 3 racers all within 1 point of each other as Batter Cookie races out to the lead, and in second place, Bagel in third, as it is already starting to bunch up here after the first couple of turns, Ashley.
This is this course is really interesting because it does feel like if you are in the middle of the pack, it gets very chaotic because these are narrow streets. You know the narrow streets. Have you ever been to Madrid?
I've not been to Madrid yet. I'm sure it's on the bucket list to get there before, but not necessarily a place you expect 12 colorful characters to race through, throwing shells and bananas
That's fair.
at each other. Yoel in second, Cookie in first, Batter Cookie that is, and in third, and now things are starting to settle in this particular race here, Bear.
Oh man, and is just creating a true European traffic experience by backing the triple greens against it's so unfortunate. And Batter Cookie getting hit by everything.
Getting battered.
Oh.
We just saw him crumble there. Oh my goodness. Hopefully they make a comeback here as they're getting into this final stretch. Lap 2 is super long in comparison to lap 3. It just feels like a really long commute.
Yoel in first. We haven't been able to see Yoel at the top
Blue shell
for too
out.
many races,
Blue
but
shell.
here
He's
comes
got a
a
horn.
blue shell, has a horn, able to deflect it. So Yoel able to maintain the lead as we approach the third and final section here.
And a bomb in
And
there.
everything that you could ask for to be in the lead right now,
This
Ashley.
is great. I mean, and the thing is if someone pulls a boo, you'll see a lot of times these players will hold a coin and then the more powerful item, so that the boo steals the coin, not the more powerful item. Now, obviously, he used that coin and he's holding onto that bomb, but a lot of times you'll see them hold it.
Trying to follow the minimap. Sizable lead for Yoel. How does Yoel close this out as we enter the
Oh
pitch
my
here,
God.
Brandon?
Another.
He's good here. He's fine at this point. I would have bombed back here just so he can chokehold second and third, but they're just going to holding on to this. As the blue shell gets out, it'll actually target Yoel. He's fine.
Too late.
Nice first there.
late.
I think Adon getting second, and then I think Brandon ended up getting third. Really nice finish from all these racers
This
here.
is a shakeup. This is a shakeup.
Huge shakeup here.
Unexpected here. Cavo 9th.
And this is what's going to get very interesting as we get set for the final 4 courses here in just a second. But Yoel getting a
Look at
nice
that, thumbs
victory.
up.
Well done. Very well done. Just a clean technical race. And that is going to shake up this leaderboard. But Brandon able to sneak in there in the top 4 was huge, Bear.
Massive. And Brandon is very lucky that Yoel is a very nice player.
Seriously, yeah.
I would have not been
Are
nice.
you a nice player in
No.
the lead, Bear?
Bear's
No,
ruthless.
Absolutely not. I would have let go of that.
Unapologetic.
I
This
would
is
have
a-
let go of that bomb at that finish line because you know what? You're leaving the stadium. You better get a nice mouthful.
That's
of,
a mic drop.
Yeah, you better get nice explosions you're getting out of there because and he could have made someone stay horrible, but he ended up just playing it pretty nicely in comparison
guy,
to what I saw.
Yoel.
A pro's pro.
Good guy, Yoel.
A pro's pro.
Yeah.
Unlike Bear here. Either way, we've got a very
He's your
crowded leaderboard. As we check this out with just 4 races left.
Oh my
Luckyo moves up to first with 64. Kevo in second with 63.
Look at this.
How about this? 4 points
That's
separate
insane.
first through 6th as we get set
Unreal.
for the final third of this championship. Oh, the competition and the drama just starts to heat up. And up next, Bear, we have Big Blue. Now, in my opinion, everybody's essentially racing for second because the saxophone player, Kazuki Katsudo, gets first every
That's
single
right.
time in Big Blue, in my
That-
opinion. An unbelievable track when you look at the soundtrack. But Big Blue, there's a lot of fascinating things with this course about how you get your coins and how you stay in the water. Guide us through.
Yeah, so Big Blue is our only sectional course in this Grand Prix. So there's 3 laps, but it's all downhill. To get the coins, you can only get in the power slots, just like in F-Zero. That's in the beginning and in another area there, or you get it from other Fallen players. And then as you get into the second leg of the lap, there is a water stream. You always want to stay in there typically so you can be a little faster, but there's 3 critical shortcuts, and the cannon glider is the big X factor in this course because what happens is the cannon glider in this game, it basically magnifies the distance between first and last. So as first passes, second or third place could get a star.
Really?
In it, right, because the item box is right before the cannon glider. So the game calculates it as, oh, you're in second place, but you are so far behind. So I'm going to give you a star and maybe like something else. So it becomes wild as that last leg in. We'll probably get a lightning bolt happen and shock out the top of the pack, but it's going to be chaotic in a nice way to shake things up here.
A chance to go from F0 to hero in a moment's notice, possibly in the middle of this course. Here we go, Big Blue. We are getting down the home stretch of this championship as everybody's hugging the turn and quickly scooping up those coins, Ashley.
You got to. This is a really important part of the first part of this race. You got to get in there. You got to get those coins. I really, really love this course. It's so fast. Obviously, it's an F0 course. That's what you want out of it. But yeah, lots of really great play here already early on.
And we're seeing a couple of racers fall off the course here and a couple of shortcut opportunities early on here, Bear.
Yeah, right at this point here, we'll see N execute this perfectly. That's the first one here. There's another big one coming up. We'll see Luckyo do it as well as he's on the left. They cut through a whole section of the course there. It's really nice, and it saves you a lot of time. Luckyo, as they're holding a mushroom here, really smart here to overtake because they're fine. They can dodge a blue at this point, but they're going to see what they can out here. Again, this is where things get really interesting.
You saw Luckyo, the first one into the cannon section, creates that separation. What did N get? N got a music box, obviously, is able to just use that defensively if they need to. Wyra in second as well, too. And now it's just Luckyo in first. Keep in mind, Luckyo is towards the top of our leaderboard. And down the home stretch here, Bear, what do they need to keep in mind?
Massive cut here by Luckyo. He's going to probably execute perfectly as he does. Change his item here. Gets rid of it. Oh, this is very risky. Blue could take his banana. We'll see how he finishes here.
And down the stretch, and trying to cut through Luckyo, trying to hang on to first place. And it's Luckyo that gets the gold. Wyra in second. And this is going to make things even tighter as we get set for the final 3 courses. But how about that? Luckyo getting the victory.
Huge.
And now Luckyo has created a 6-point separation between he and Kevo, and just getting exactly what you need down the stretch and doing the proper line.
Very smart for him. Very risky by getting rid of their coin. Given that
confident,
confident.
So confident.
I'd get too scared of getting rid of my coin, so that way the boo just takes that instead of my banana. But good for him. Getting that first place was critical. No one really activated the lightning bolt there, so it ended up being as crazy as I thought it was. But clean lines, was able to take every cut perfectly, understanding that the mushroom was critical to have, so they could dodge the blue. So it was great overall. What they performed out there was really good Big Blue racing.
And Ashley, that's a very fast course.
Very fast.
It's over in about a minute and a half.
Well, the shortcuts make such a big difference when you're racing it and you see those shortcuts. And for anybody at home, like who is maybe just a longtime Mario Kart player who doesn't necessarily know a lot of these shortcuts, to be able to see them executed like this, practice it, try it, just try it out, because they really do make such a massive difference in how quickly you can get down to the bottom of the finish line, and especially on this course.
Let's go ahead and check out the leaderboard. It's Luckyo with a 6-point lead with 3 courses left, so you can imagine the rest of the pack is going to be hunting. And how about Kevo? Also is 6-point separation between second and third, and so there was a lot of movement that happened. I take everything back that I said about things getting bunched up there. We saw some separation after that course.
Big Blue does that to folks. But with Luckyo and Kevo being in the top 2 pack here, even Adon with 3 solid finishes could actually win this tournament. I wouldn't count on even Batter Cookie at this, or even Wyra. They're still up there. They just need to have basically top 2 and the rest of these 3, and then everybody else do bad. Then it'll be okay. But
just a few things have to happen.
Just a lot of things you have to go your way.
It's a non-zero chance. You know what I mean? It's like anything can happen in Mario Kart. And honestly, like this next course, I think is a good shake-up course. I think we might see some surprises here.
Oh, DK Mountain is phenomenal. It's a great front-running track. I love the shortcut at the end. It's critical. Now, there are 2 players here that are playing with inside drifting bikes, so it'll be kind of hard to execute. But the shortcut at the end, you have to time it very, very, very critical to get over the gap, because you have to do a super mini turbo into another super mini turbo, and then you have to just pray that your line is perfect. And we'll see it with these folks. But the dreaded bridge, if a lightning comes in at the end and you're at that bridge point,
so
you
chaotic.
are a sitting duck.
Yep. Float right out of the sky.
Yeah, and sometimes you can get knocked off that bridge multiple times if things really don't go your way.
Yeah, and especially if you're in that pack on that bridge, that's a hard place to be.
And sometimes this is where you might use smart steering as well too, Bear.
Yeah, just when you don't want to, especially if you don't want to fall off, you might pop it on. But in general, most of these people are just gonna really have clean lines, so I think they're just gonna executed perfectly.
Luckyo is your leader by 6 points. We'll see if the pack will target him as we get set on DK Mountain. Just 3 courses left in this championship, and now we have a muddle of racers after that barrels part.
Just a whole group. Everyone's all clustered together. It's really chaotic when it's like that. And anybody who's played Mario Kart knows they've been in that situation before.
Kevo has taken the lead, has a banana peel in tow. Brandon right behind with that red shell will go ahead and eliminate that potassium. And now it's Brandon with a coin. Kevo is trying to make that jump, and they both able to successfully do the shortcut.
Yeah, if you notice, they're building specifically for the Super Mini Turbo, not the Ultra, just because you get too much speed with the Ultra Mini Turbo and you just fall off.
Fly right off the bridge.
But Brandon's smart by trying to get rid of Kevo's defense, but now just has a mushroom in hand, so they're a sitting duck while Kevo's sitting there nice and happy with 1 coin and a banana to protect him after.
Kevo in a decent position, ditches the banana, goes for the double item box. Kevo now in first with Brandon right behind, bouncing off the mountain, trying to make their way across the rolling boulders, hitting the turn here. Now 2 mushrooms for Brandon. Anything they can do here, Ashley?
I mean, well, you can see Brandon just slid right ahead in first place. He's going to use that mushroom as soon as he can. You don't really need it
Blue's
right
out.
here. This is the blue's out, and I'll let Bear go ahead, Bear.
Yeah, blue's out. So Brandon has a mushroom in tow, so they should be okay as long as the red shell doesn't talk to them after. They're going to wait a little bit, and then Abel get the item box right
That's
after.
how
Perfect.
it's done, ladies and gentlemen. Brandon using the mushroom to avoid the blue shell.
Chef's
It's a thing
kiss.
of beauty, Ashley.
Chef's kiss. You know, it made me so mad when I realized you could do that because I'd been playing for years without it, and then I was like, what have I been doing my whole life? I love that. I love that skill. It is so amazing to learn. Highly recommend anybody who plays Mario Kart learn that one.
Luckyo has fallen back just a little bit. Brandon in first, Kevo in second, Yoel 37 in eighth, Gecko in third. So far our leader is not in the top 4. It's going to get wild here, Bear.
Yeah, double reds, and at this point he's gonna hit him again. Another
Get
red
him again.
now.
There goes
Got
Kevo.
him. Brandon has to eat it. Kevo takes the lightning bolt on the bridge. Is sitting right there. Can Brandon pass? Kevo just trying to hop, skip, and able to get the checkered flag. Oof. Brandon in second. But boy, Ashley, did they have to deal with a lot of junk at the end.
Kevo was very lucky there that there wasn't a lot happening as he crossed that bridge after the lightning. Again, that lightning right after that last item box is so chaotic and so scary.
And how about Luckyo finishing in 10th place, I believe, and all of a sudden, Kevo has just propelled past Luckyo with 2 courses left. We said anything can happen down these final 3 races, and so far, that's coming to fruition here, Bear.
Yeah. Getting down to that last leg, if you were, well, I was just noticing Kevo's play as we saw them on there. They had 2 reds. It was so smart for them to space filling the red shells, taking out Brandon, ending up actually hitting him once after the cut, and then again because he wanted to punish him pretty hard. If that lightning bolt did not activate, probably Brandon probably would have gotten hit even worse because there was a lot behind him.
A lot going on.
And a lot of the people already passed the item box set, so there's not much was gonna challenge them. But Kevo maintaining that, getting that first place there was critical. And they both, to Brandon's credit, both him and Kevo had amazing lines. If you were watching where they went off the mountain path, that is the optimal line to take in time trials. But going into these last few races here, let's talk about the leaderboards.
It's what everybody in this competition was hoping not to see. Kevo with a 6-point lead. Except Kevo. Kevo just said it's a nice day to win. Kevo, a 6-point lead with 2 races left. Luckyo in second at 82. Brandon in third at 78. Yoel 37 has done a really nice job climbing into the top 4 at 73. And so now things will get fascinating. It's Hyrule Circuit coming up next year. And Bear, what do they need to keep in mind on this course?
For this course, what's fun is the coins are rupees, so get make sure you collect your rupees,
yes.
And then there's a critical shortcut at the end where you basically skip the item box set and you go in between the trees or between the tree and the Hyrule Castle wall. That you always take no matter what, because you gain so much distance. So we'll see a lot of these players use that. They don't need a mushroom to do that. They just need a nice mini turbo, super mini turbo, and then they should be able to hop and go skip right through it here. So this is a great front run heavy course. I don't expect much people to play too crazy, but this pack is so tight that at this point, if I was Kevo, I would just try to maintain a top 3 finish here.
Thoughts from everybody else, Ashley, as far as Kevo having such a lead? Do they start to really hunt him down?
I mean, I think everyone's got to be looking for that pink Yoshi at this point, right? It matches his hair. He came to win today. He's really in it to win it. Obviously, they all are, but Kevo's really locked in at this point. He has momentum going into these last 2 courses, which cannot be understated. That's a really important thing as you come into the last couple of races in a Grand Prix.
Well, it's a rare period of peace in Hyrule, so let's go ahead and have a race, why don't we? We're getting set for our penultimate race, Hyrule Circuit. Keep an eye on Luckyo and our leader Kevo, who has the overall lead by 6 points. It's Kevo already racing out to an early advantage. Everybody coming behind, but those rupees quickly getting snatched up there.
Ooh, and Brandon ended up getting hit by Banana. Someone Banana sniped him while he was in first, so someone really was going for them.
Kevo picks up the double item box as we take a look at the middle to the back part of the pack right now. Nothing too powerful coming out right now. Just a bunch of mushrooms amongst all of our racers here. How about Adon here in second place and now cuts through the trees just like you talked about. And Ashley, this is where things start to get really narrow and chaotic.
This is really narrow. I mean, Adon had that green shell, didn't quite make it happen. Is really in the middle of that like sort of central scrum, which always makes it really tough to get anything going. So we'll see if he can actually generate some momentum here.
But they're all racing after Kevo, our leader, trying to put an exclamation point on their advantage heading into the final course on our next race. Clearly in the lead, has a banana peel, everything coming up Kevo right now, Bear.
Yeah, going in this area, he has 10 coins in hand, really wants to get every, look at this shortcut he takes.
Boom.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Really nice. He sees who's behind him, he's just dragging as much as he can just to maintain distance, but Luckyo here overtakes him, outlines him with a mushroom in hand. This is a crazy final lap going at this point.
So Luckyo, keep in mind, would cut into that lead by at least 3 points if it stands how it is right now.
Kevo hit the bomb.
Kevo in second with a bomb, though. Will Kevo be offensive-minded or defensive-minded? Has a lead to protect, but doesn't want to give up points. Oh, the decisions here, Ashley.
Red shell incoming, so he had to dump that bomb. Now he's got a red shell, though, which, you know, honestly might be a little bit better in second place at this point.
And Luckyo has a mushroom and a red shell, but might not be able to respond in time. And the red shell doesn't do anything. Luckyo speeding around the corner. Can Luckyo get first place? Kevo has now fallen to third, and that's going to create a 1-point difference. Oh, Bear, you can feel the tension.
Oh my goodness. I saw what happened, and I am astonished because I saw that. So when Kevo threw that red, for some reason, the piranha plant, or I forget what they're called. What are they called in the game? The
Deku Babas.
The Deku Babas.
Deku Baba.
That Deku Baba, for some reason, thought the red shell was still coming and chewed it at it too early, where it actually, if it didn't do that, it would have hit Luckyo because his line was going right towards that Deku. That's crazy to me that happened. He actually had luck. Good, Luckyo had luck. Good for that. That was great going into this last race. I am astonished going into our final race here.
Luckyo, the botanist, knowing exactly what to do. That Deku Baba was going to want a little snack to help him out, and so. This is all you can really ask for, Ashley, as you get into the final race here. Just a 1-point difference. Kevo with the lead at 98, Luckyo at 97, and it's going to bring up a lot of possibilities because, listen, it's just a 1v1 essentially with everybody else out there.
Yeah, it's really either of theirs to win at this point. I mean, yeah, that was very, very lucky on Luckyo's part. But that is what Mario Kart is, though. You know, sometimes it just takes that one random stroke of luck to stay in first, to maintain. And also, Kevo at that very last path down there, he was just right in the trenches, and then he just bumped a wall, and it slowed him down just enough to take third place instead of second place, which is just really heartbreaking if you're a player at that caliber. You're just like, oh, that was such an unforced error, and you never want to make an unforced error at this point.
Man,
in the
Kevo was
tournament.
very lucky because Wyro was right in front of them and did not back the green shell at them.
No.
Could
so,
have.
it could have ended his dreams, but Wyro was very nice. He said, you know what? I'm just holding this. I don't know what you have. All I saw is
no chances.
I was like, if it was me, I would have been hit by 5 things at that point, and would have gotten 9th.
Let's go ahead and check out the leaderboard before our final race. There it is. Kevo 98, Luckyo 97. Everybody else is just racing to keep this thing competitive because those two, the championship potentially could be decided on this race, and that's why, Ashley, Kevo falling to third changed everything.
It really did, because if he had come in second, that point spread would be enough to not. It would have been a little less stressful for Kevo. It still would have been stressful.
Yeah, it was stressful, but I mean, Brandon technically, mathematically, could still win it.
Yes.
If Brandon gets first and Kevo gets last.
Yeah.
That's the and Luckyo
And
also
Luckyo
gets
also gets 11th.
11th. Yeah, it's the only way that Brandon could win. But at this point, it is between Kevo and Luckyo as we're going into our final race here into one of my favorite courses, the best Rainbow Road.
An all-time great.
And that would be?
SNES Rainbow Road
Yes.
from the Super
The
Nintendo
OG.
1991. This is my first Rainbow Road. This is such a simple course. It's a great front-running course. It's just simple. It's flat. You go, you pray, and you don't fall off. That's what Rainbow Road is. And you can also see the course. I actually enjoy this course specifically in terms of all the Rainbow Roads in this game because I can see
Pretty
lot
much
in front of me.
almost all of it. Yeah, it's like as you're racing.
Yeah, the point of view isn't so shrunk up like a lot of the other Rainbow Roads in this game. It's kind of difficult to see. This one you can actually see, you can anticipate. It really makes or breaks between many of the racers here. And going into this, if I was Luckyo or Kevo, I would just pray to the Rainbow Gods.
So
well,
true.
hopefully either one of them can find the pot of gold at the end of the Rainbow Road after this race, because this is a huge opportunity and huge bragging rights, Ashley, to say that you won this championship when you look at how talented every single competitor was. It's not a 1 through 6 computer racers filling the rest of the field. This is 1 through 12. Everybody is accomplished that came into this.
These are 12 of the best Mario Kart racers in North America. I mean, these are the best of the best, and to say that you are the best of the best, that's there's nothing like it.
Potentially one last race to decide them all. Here we go, SNES Rainbow Road. It is Kevo and Luckyo trying to race for that title, and right off the bat, it's Wyra that has the lead. Luckyo in 3rd, Kevo in 9th.
Man, Kevo already dropping in 10th even, 9th, 7th, 5th. I mean, it's just so tight right there. There's so many people all together, and this track is very narrow.
Wyra's still in the lead. Luckyo has now fallen to 9th. Brandon in 3rd. Don't forget, it is still mathematically possible for Brandon to claim things. Mushroom in the ramp in the middle, does that matter at all in that final little leap there?
Not too much, because you can actually get that ramp without a mushroom if you have the Ultra Mini Turbo. But the saying is, the more time you're in the air in this game, the slower you'll go. So it's always good to stay on the track.
Kevo in 2nd place, trails Wyra. 2 racers flanking Kevo at this moment, taking the line around the turn. It's still Wyra in 1st, but Kevo is ahead of Luckyo. Luckyo now in 6th place, has a mushroom and a bomb. Not too much help to try to get to the front. Kevo has fallen to 3rd, though. Now 4th. The gap is closing between Luckyo and Kevo here, Ash.
Kevo got hit
and
by the
Luckyo got dragged by a green and throws the bomb forward. He has nothing.
Oh, no. Luckyo now in 9th, Kevo in 5th. It could be Kevo's championship to claim. A lot of traffic here. Kevo spins out with a bomb and has to slow down there.
Oh my goodness, has nothing going into this final stretch. This is actually insane going in here. Tuck is in 2nd place here. Blue Shell's out, gonna hit Wyra.
Kevo in 10th, just trying to farm for something. Takes a
Just
red
anything.
shell. It is open for Luckyo. Luckyo in 8th. Kevo has to try and get 9th.
Oh,
Defends the top.
no.
Kevo falls off the map. Luckyo in 9th. Luckyo is going to go ahead and claim this championship. And Kevo, unbelievably, Kevo finishes
I can't
12th.
believe this.
And Luckyo, astonished that he was able to claim the championship after finishing 9th there. Unbelievable.
Look at, he's like, is the math right? Look at the math.
Well,
Like,
he was waiting to see if there was a tiebreaker because he was just like, am I going to tie someone? Because math.
Yeah.
Because maybe he wasn't doing the math like we were going to the finalists. I know when you're a competitor, you don't do the math that well. You're just like,
You're
I just
just
want to win.
racing.
I just want to win. Wow, that's great. Good job. Man, that was
what
insane.
What a finish.
Well,
Wow.
neither of our top 2 racers, not necessarily a sterling run on that final race there, Ashley, 9th and 12th respectively, but that's all that it took. And we go back to, again, the fact that Kevo took 3rd instead of 2nd changed everything going into that final race.
It really did change everything. And the thing is, as at 3rd instead of 2nd means you start in 3rd in the next race. And so it's really difficult to end up, you end up falling back with the pack, and then you end up in that really difficult position of having to separate yourself out and get to the, be a front runner. And so it's really tough. Yeah, it's like he's got his lucky pink Yoshi. I feel like he's rubbing it into Kevo right now. So I think a pink Yoshi.
I find it really
Amazing.
really amazing that both the top 2 players had pink hair.
Yeah.
And that is what's wild, because, Bear, if Kevo had finished in 2nd, we would have a tie right now.
Oh.
And that was the difference between 2nd place and forcing a tiebreaker. Congratulations to Luckyo. Brandon rounds things out in third place. But all of our competitors did a terrific job today. A tie between Wyra and Yoel as well, too. And so this continues to be just astonishing is the word I use here, Ashley. You just don't see that on the final race. 12 of 12. They finish 9th and 12th respectively.
I mean, yeah, it's a little different, but also that 3-point differential, very similar to Kevo's finish in Kyoto. And we had the World Championships. He had that same position. He was able to take it, and then just, you know, just that one thing, and then you just drop into second place. You're 3 points behind, and it is heartbreaking because he's so good at racing.
It's wild, just something you don't see every day at all.
A great
And
Grand
so,
Prix.
Barry, your biggest takeaway from all of this and what we saw over these last 12 races?
Have fun playing Mario Kart. I mean, when it comes down to it, these players, all of them played phenomenally. They each one had great lines that we saw, and they were able to play as optimal as they could possibly. But sometimes they just falling off. Even the best players fall off, and it is so demoralizing when you get hit, especially when it happened to Kevo, because there was a bomb right in front of the item box that they could not avoid it, and someone else activated it, so it exploded, and then the explosion ended up hitting him, and he had to basically be okay with getting one item box. Did not want to back up because it was too risky at that point, and wouldn't be able to get anything great. So. And when it comes down to it, you know, congrats to Luckyo for winning that 101 to 99. That is, you won by a narrow margin, but you are still a winner and you're still a champion. And that shows how good you are in this game and how much effort you put in each day in this race.
It just shows you, we said at the top, Ashley, the margin for error is razor thin. Exhibit A, that final turn of Rainbow Road, the 12th course. Kevo, who has been in these championship moments, if you had to pick somebody on this planet potentially to race the final lap for you, and it's just, that's the wild and crazy stuff that happens when you have this many quality opponents matched up against each other.
And then you go back all the way to that first race when Kevo had that very low finish, was a 9th or 10th, and it's like, that's a difference maker. I mean, it's like he really dominated through the middle part of this Grand Prix, and then all of it. But when you think about, it's like you got to bring your best every single race. Otherwise, it's like that 1, 2, 3 point difference. When you get to the end, it becomes the reason you come in second. It becomes the reason you're not a champion.
Either way, it was a treat for us. Congratulations to Luckyo claiming the championship of this Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Championship 2024. For myself, Ashley Esqueda, and Papa Bear. Great to have you back in the chair, my friend. We say goodbye. Thanks again for joining us. Don't forget, tomorrow we've got more competitive Nintendo action coming your way. It's the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Championship 2024 tournament right here. You don't want to miss it, but congratulations once again to Luckyo, besting 11 other top-tier competitors in dramatic fashion on the final course. You gotta love it. Congratulations.